Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prodigy channel. And in this video, I'm going to be setting my lineups across my 4 leagues in preparation of week 1 of the 2021 NFL season. I'm really excited to start playing fantasy again. It's been a long time. Week 1 starts tomorrow as of this recording. I'm recording this on September 8th at night. But I'm going to be posting this on September 9th, which is game day, the season opener, Bucks versus Cowboys. We're going to be talking about a few players in that game as I'm setting my lineups. And for those of you who have never seen these types of videos, I did this all of last season for the 2020 season. And I felt like since I'm setting all my lineups and everything anyways, I figured I might as well record myself doing it, kind of talk about my process as I'm setting my lineups. And hopefully that can help you guys out there set your own lineups. So with that being said, I think we're ready to get into this, into setting our lineups here. So I think we're ready to go. So we're going to start with this league right here. I literally just drafted this league on Wednesday, September 8th, literally the day before the season. This is a full PPR, 2 quarterback or Superflex, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex. And we do have a defensive kicker, a punter, and a head coach. It's a free league. The commissioner just thought it'd be kind of a fun feature, so it's really not that serious. But anyways, moving forward, as you can see, I went kind of crazy on quarterback. So Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, no brainers there. I do have Jalen Hurts and Trey Lance. Trey Lance down the road, I think will be valuable. Jalen Hurts, I like his rushing upside, but I'm not going to play him over those 2 guys. And if you are wondering why I have Josh Allen in the primary quarterback spot and Patrick Mahomes in the superflex, that is because if you look at the game time, Josh Allen plays at noon, and Patrick Mahomes plays at 3:25. So you always want to have the earlier game time in the more restricted position. So, for example, if you have a running back, let's just say, so Raheem Mostert. Let's just say Dalvin Cook was playing on Sunday night and Raheem Mostert was playing on Sunday afternoon. Instead of having Raheem Mostert in the flex, I'd want to have Raheem Mostert in the running back spot and move Dalvin Cook to the flex, not because Raheem Mostert is better and I'm prioritizing him by putting him in the running back spot, but it's just because his game is earlier. So you want that flexibility later in the day. If something were to happen where you need to make a lineup adjustment, you can then replace that player with a wide receiver, a running back, a tight end, whatever. Does that make sense? Just in case of an injury or if you change your mind on who you want to play. So that's one tip I like to give in these videos, but enough rambling about that. Obviously, Dalvin Cook is going to start. We got Mike Davis in there as well and Raheem Mostert. I did decide to start Raheem Mostert over Damien Harris, Ronald Jones. I just really like this matchup with Detroit, and I could see him ripping off a big run because Detroit does not have much going on for him right now. And then at wide receiver, Ridley and Lockett, they're locked in. Get it? Lockett's locked in. Didn't even try to do that. And then we have Antonio Brown as our wide receiver 3. I really just decided to play him over the other wide receivers, DeVante Parker, Darnell, Mooney, and Russell Gage. I like Antonio Brown better. Like, I just think he's a better fantasy player right now. Darnell Mooney, I like him as a sleeper, but I'm not going to play him week 1 against the Rams over AB. So those are some of the decisions I had to make this week in this league. TJ Hawkinson is my locked and loaded tight end 1. And then we got the Broncos defense against the Giants. I don't mind that matchup at all against Danny Dimes and that offense. We got Younghoe Koo and a punter and the Chiefs head coach. So that's kind of interesting. Moving on, we are... Oh, by the way, this is a 10-team league. This isn't an 8-team league. I know you're probably thinking, oh, dude, how'd you get all these quarterbacks and Dalvin Cook and Calvin Ridley and Tyler Lockett? I don't know. It's a 10-team league. I don't think they grasped the concept that it was a super flex league, so I got like a bunch of quarterbacks late. But anyways, if you do want to see a recap of that video, I did do that draft while I was recording, and I posted a video about it yesterday, so go check that out. I'll link it up above. But anyways, moving forward, this is a half PPR league. Is this a 10-team or a 12-team? This is a 10-team. And this is our little lineup here we got to look forward to. So Kyler Murray, he's our locked and loaded quarterback 1. This is a 2 quarterback or a super flex league. 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex. No kicker, no defense. No punters either. So we got Kyler Murray, obviously. And then quarterback 2, here's a tough decision that I had to make. I was deciding between Teddy Bridgewater and Zach Wilson. And at first, I had Teddy in there because I'm thinking, okay, he's a veteran. I think he could maybe throw a couple touchdowns against the Giants. And Zach Wilson is a rookie. It's his first ever NFL game. But honestly, Zach Wilson has looked good in the preseason. It's been all good reports. I just think I would rather go with Zach Wilson because if he has a blow-up game, I know it's his first NFL game and he could flop, but I don't want to miss out on that potential for a blow-up game. I don't think Teddy's going to go out there and light the world on fire. That's not really his thing. And I didn't even consider playing Jared Goff. just because the Lions offense looks dreadful. The only reason he's on my team is because it's a 2-quarterback league. But if I do make the change of playing Teddy Bridgewater instead of Zach Wilson, I will comment that down below. So make sure to look at the comments because I'm recording this on Wednesday. And, we have a Thursday game, then games on Sunday, and games on Monday. Injuries happen. I might change my mind on something. So I will always comment that down below and maybe put it in the description or something. So so that's what we have for quarterback. Running back, we got Aaron Jones, James Robinson, and Gus Edwards in the flex. Those guys are locked in. I'm not going to play Tony Pollard or McKissick or Singletary over them. In the flex, I'm not going to play Mooney or Curtis Samuel over Gus Edwards. Now that J.K. Dobbins is out for the season, even though they signed Lev Bell, I think Gus Edwards should be the workhorse there, especially earlier in the season since they just signed Lev Bell. And they got the Raiders, who they don't really put a lot of fear into me. So, yeah, those are my 2 running backs in flex. And then at wide receiver, Davante Adams, DJ Moore. Those are locked in. You never sit Davante Adams. DJ Moore against the Jets, that doesn't scare me at all. And then at our wide receiver 3, this is sort of where I had to make a little bit of a decision. Russell Gage is in there right now. Again, if I change it, I'll comment it down below. But right now, I got Russell Gage in there. I think he could see some decent volume with Julio Jones no longer in Atlanta. Kyle Pitts, this will be his first game, the rookie tight end for Atlanta. So I don't know how hyper-targeted he's going to be. So I think Russell Gage could see some nice target volume. And with a lot of these studs that we have in this lineup, this was an auction draft, by the way. So that's why I have a lot of really high-end players like Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, Kyler Murray, Travis Kelce. With a lot of those studs, I don't necessarily need my wide receiver 3 to show out. So I decided to play Russell Gage over Curtis Samuel just because Curtis Samuel's kind of dealing with an injury. I'm not even sure if he's going to play week 1. And then Darnell Mooney, I love him as a sleeper. And I believe Jalen Ramsey should be covering Allen Robinson for this game. I don't know if he's going to follow him or what. But so Darnell Mooney's matchup he shouldn't be matched up with Jalen Ramsey the entire game or anything like that. But I would still rather just take the safe play given my lineup with Russell Gage there. And then Travis Kelce at tight end. I mean, you're never going to sit Travis Kelce. Also, speaking of Curtis Samuel, he was dropped in this league. I also like to talk about some of the transactions that I make throughout the week when I'm making these videos. And I did add him for $3 off of the waiver wire. We have a $200 budget, so that was pretty nice. And before we move on to the next league, I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is a half PPR league. I forgot if I mentioned that or not. But anyways, moving on. Is this a 10 or a 12? I forgot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is a 12-team league. It's a standard league, non-PPR. It's a very traditional league. We got 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex, a kicker, and a DST. And speaking of kickers, I do need to add one. It pains me as a Vikings fan, but this is fantasy. I'm going to bank on a Packers player. As you saw in my last league, I'm not afraid to draft a Packers player. We're going to add Mason Crosby. I feel like he's just a nice, reliable kicker. And we are going to drop Blake Jarwin, a sleeper tight end. But, you only have so much roster space, so Mason Crosby should be a nice little addition, just a solid kicker for me and a decent offense, a really good offense, actually. But anyways, the rest of the lineup, we got Tom Brady on Thursday Night Football. I'm hoping that the defending Super Bowl Buccaneers come out. Tom Brady throws 1 million touchdowns, hopefully to Antonio Brown and Chris Godwin, who I have in some lineups. But yeah, Tom Brady's my quarterback 1. He's my guy. I drafted him to play him pretty much every week. Derrick Henry is a lock. My first round pick that I got 6 overall. Mike Davis, if you see a theme, he's on a lot of my teams. In some leagues, I am playing him, and in other leagues, I'm not. This is a league where I am playing him. I'm actually playing him in this league too, right? Yeah, so you'll see later on that I am sitting him in a league as well, just because I have better options. But I think Mike Davis is a solid play against Philly. He should get some nice volume. At wide receiver, we got DJ Moore and Calvin really locked in there. That's a no-brainer. Zach Ertz, I'm playing over Evan Ingram. He's injured. There's a lot of receiving options in New York. They got a ton of mouths to feed. Even at tight end, they signed Kyle Rudolph. So I don't like that situation for him. Hopefully, Zach Ertz sees some targets. I'm not banking on him to be a great play most weeks, but hopefully he can do something for me. And then David Montgomery in the flex. He's pretty much the guy that I'm going to play. And here's another example of what I was saying earlier. I would rather play David Montgomery over Mike Davis. So, you might think, set your lineup like that. But because David Montgomery is playing later in the day, I'm going to put him in my flex. Because once these games are over, let's just say if I had Montgomery in my running back spot. So Mike Davis plays, Derrick Henry plays. My flex spot is taken up. Let's just say David Montgomery, oh, all of a sudden last minute he's not playing on Sunday night. Well, I have no options then, right? I have no one to play because it has to be a running back. But if I play in the flex, let's just say, he's not able to play, 3 o'clock rolls around, then I can put Courtland Sutton in there, someone like that. Does that make sense? Okay. I think I made that point pretty clear, but a lot of people don't do that, and it's just something you should do. But yeah, I'm not A.J. Dillon and Trey Sermon. I want to see how the San Francisco backfield works out before I put him into my lineup over any of these guys. A.J. Dillon, he's kind of in a committee role with Aaron Jones. I expect him to have some touches, but not enough to start him over any of these guys. Antonio Brown, I started him in another league, but I would rather play David Montgomery in the flex, and I'm not going to play AB over these wide receivers. Although I do have this feeling that AB is going to get in the end zone. I don't know what it is, but I just have this feeling. And same thing with Russell Gage. I'm starting him in another league, but in this league, I'm not going to start him just because I have better options. Deebo, I don't hate him this week. It should be a good matchup with Detroit. As long as he's healthy and on the field, he's usually productive. He has a low average depth of target, but he does a lot of stuff with the ball in his hands, breaks tackles. So he's not a bad play at all, but I'm just not going to play him over those guys. Courtland Sutton, I just kind of want to see him on the field, see how he plays with Teddy, see how he comes back from that injury. But if you have him as like a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, or as a flex, he is someone you could play, but I just have better options. And yeah, I'm not going to play Chenault this week. So yep, that's pretty much everything for this week. I also got Denver DST against the Giants. So that's pretty much all to say about that league. And then finally, this is where we have a lot to talk about. So this is a Dynasty League. So all these other leagues are redraft. This is my one and only Dynasty League, half PPR. We have 10 teams, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 2 flexes, 1 tight end, and a DST. So let's just start with the basic no-brainers, all right? Tom Brady against Dallas, season opener. I'm going to play him over Matt Ryan. Obviously, Cam Newton's not on a team, and Trevor Lawrence is currently on my taxi squad. I just kind of want to see how he starts the season. Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, those guys, are RB1, high-end RB2 type of players. You're very rarely going to sit those guys. I do have the depth on this team in particular. You'll see as I go through. This team is kind of a juggernaut. I do have the depth where maybe if someone pops off and these guys underperform, because remember, there was a time when Joe Mixon was being dropped in leagues and being benched and everything, but I expect him to have a good year, good volume-based year. He's a great running back. So, yeah, play him against Minnesota, Jonathan Taylor against Seattle. James Robinson, so how am I going to say this? Okay, so James Robinson and Miles Sanders, those are a couple guys that are in my flex. I wouldn't play them over these other 2 running backs. There were a couple players I considered playing over those 2 running backs, but ultimately I decided on them. I'll go over that in a second. But at wide receiver, we got Hopkins and Ridley locked in, and we also have Chris Godwin in as our wide receiver 3. He's another guy that I might have sat, but as of now, I have Godwin in there as my as a wide receiver. George Kittle at tight end, that's a no-brainer. And then I got the Chargers defense against the Washington football team. The only other option would be the Chicago Bears against the LA Rams. So I'm not going to do that. At tight end, I'm not going to play Goddard, Blake Jarwin, or Jonnu over George Kittle. So kind of talking about what I was saying earlier, James Robinson, Miles Sanders, and Chris Godwin. To me, I would play James Robinson over Miles Sanders. So it kind of became a question of between Miles Sanders and some guys on my bench, who should I play? So you got Mike Davis. I decided to go with Miles Sanders. I could see Mike Davis doing better. I could see Miles Sanders doing better. They're pretty similar to me. They're in the same game, actually, ironically. But honestly, the tiebreaker was for me. I already played Mike Davis in a couple leagues, so I kind of want to diversify a little bit, put Miles Sanders out there. Hopefully he can rip off a long touchdown because that's kind of his thing. But hopefully, we'll see. Other than that, Marvin Jones is someone most teams with 3 wide receivers and 2 flexes would play, but I have the depth to not play him. Courtland Sutton, again, same thing as Marvin Jones. Like, he's a great, I'd rather have Courtland Sutton over Marvin Jones, obviously, but Courtland Sutton is a player who I wouldn't mind having in my lineup, but I just have better options. Same with Jerry Jeudy. And Chase Claypool, this might come as a surprise, but in a league with 3 wide receivers and 2 flexes, I'm sitting Chase Claypool. I love him for Dynasty, but compared to these players this week, I don't think I want to play him over Miles Sanders or over Chris Godwin because they have a crowded receiving core. I mean, I guess the Buccaneers do too, but I just rather play Chris Godwin. I how he matches up a little bit better. I think that this game script, Dallas and Tampa Bay, I think it's going to be a high-flying game. And I think he has a good chance to get some receptions, maybe in the end zone. So, yeah, I'm sitting Chase Claypool, not because I don't want to play him, but I just have really good options in this team. So if you are out there, I'm not saying just and you have Chase Claypool on your team, I'm not saying to sit him, but just a team-by-team thing, I'm not playing him. So that is this whole lineup. Those are all the decisions I really have to think of. Also, I really just like how secure Chris Godwin is. I think he should be somewhat targeted in this game, and that's something that played into my decision to play him. Is my matchup? As you can see, the projections, I know they don't mean anything, but you can tell by the projections I'm heavily favored in this matchup. Looking at the team, I mean, he's starting guys like Raheem, DeVante Parker. I mean, you know what I'm saying, compared to my team, like a lot of players on my bench would easily start for this team. So I'm not trying to like, you know, be arrogant, but just based on the matchup, I don't need to really go for, you know, that home run play. So that's just something I was considering as well. So I just kind of want to secure the win, start off 1-0 in this league. And hopefully I start off 1-0 in every league, and hopefully you start 1-0 in your leagues as well. Unless you're playing against me, then definitely don't win. And with that being said, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.